30 minutes of power.
Welcome to Top 30 Minutes of Power, a podcast dedicated to encourage, educate, and inspire godly women to pursue their passions, with hosts Jory O'Neill and Nicole Salter. Thanks for coming. Let's get ready to power up.
Welcome to 30 Minutes of Power. Yes.
Yay!
We're back. Nicole and Jory at it again. How are you doing, Sister Fran?
It's been a day.
Well, now. So a lot of people are aware that you were not with us last week. And even though we was already planned, there has been a lot happening, I think, in both of our lives over the last couple of weeks. And so today we just want to take a moment to step back and just reflect and share and ask, right? How do you keep your cool when life gets crazy? Right? So this is a really tough question, but I'm wondering how do you do it? Like, how in the world? How do you do it? So we're gonna take a quick detour from the Her Story Matters series, and we're just gonna talk about how do you cope when your day's going crazy, when it's not going the way that you anticipated or you thought.
Well, if you're like me, there's days when you just feel like your head is going to explode, right? You're running around like a chicken with their head cut off, and you're doing all of these things that need to get done and then some. And even though you know you're doing a good job, even though you know that what's on your plate is totally doable, you just feel like it is too much. And I'm not going to lie, I don't have any magical answers for how to fight being overwhelmed. But what I can't tell you is that being able to recognize the signs of being overworked is the first step towards finding ways to manage your workload and give yourself some breathing room. So here's how it goes. If you're feeling overwhelmed, there are 3 big signals that will tell you when it's time for a break. First, check with how you feel physically. Do your shoulders hurt? Do your back hurt? Are your eyes tired from staring at screens all day? If so, this could be a sign that your body needs some rest. And just remember, rest isn't just about sleeping. It can also mean taking time out just for you to read, or some people smoke. And although
We do not condone smoking. We do not condone smoking on this podcast.
However,
30 minutes of power is not 30 minutes of puffing.
Some people, I can remember being at work and some people were entitled to that smoke break. Every 5 minutes they'd be outside because they need a break, and what do you do to take that break when you are feeling overwhelmed? Me, I used to go to the water fountain, maybe try and read all of the rules of the company again that was on the bulletin board, because I just needed to step away. Sometimes situations can get really difficult. And when I was working in the world with where I was a mental challenge coach, times were hard. Times were tough. And you might spend an extra 20 minutes in the bathroom. You might look at 7 more TikTok videos than you normally do. Sometimes you just need to de-stress. You need to decompress. What is it that you do? There's tons of things that everyone does, and there is no magical answer or no one thing. Everyone is going to have something different.
And it's interesting because I in feeling overwhelmed, I'm studying out resilience, and right now I'm on mental resilience. Like I need to figure out how to get my mind okay with not being okay, right? And so that's where you're talking about give yourself some breathing room, like give yourself
Right.
grace. And that is something I personally struggle with, like giving myself grace and being okay when I'm not at my optimal in my mind,
Right.
right?
Yep.
And so uh so studying out today mental resilience, and the first lesson is on Psalm 23, right? The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. He leads me and makes me lie down in green pastures. Like beautiful psalm. David is pouring out his heart to God, and today he was just the instructor. He was like, "All right, we're gonna go through Psalm 23, and when we're done, you're gonna have it memorized." And I'm thinking like, "All right, we're gonna say it, we're gonna repeat it. It's gonna be, some mnemonic." And he was like, "Read Psalm 23, verse 1." So he read it, and then he was like, "Okay, that's it." I was like, "What?" Just the one verse. And so I just sat this morning, just I'm gonna say almost an hour, just picking apart verse 1, and what I came up with was pretty cool. Like I don't think I've ever really dug deep into just the first verse of Psalm 23, just the one verse. And so part of how I'm tying all this together about feeling overwhelmed is in the first part, like I don't think I've ever thought about like the Lord being my shepherd and what does that mean? What does that look like? And so I thought about how David is using a parable similar to the way Jesus did, and he's trying to get his audience to relate to what he's saying. And so part of me being overwhelmed, I don't know if you can hear all the stuff in the background, but like everybody's home, everybody's like, ah, I just came from grandma's house and like, ah, she gave us sugar. Like, calm down, calm down. Um, but like the Lord is my shepherd. What does that mean? What does that look like? And so I started thinking about, all right, if I'm a sheep, what does a shepherd do for me? And so I started naming all the qualities that I would think a shepherd would do for a sheep. They would protect them, guide them, oversee them, provide for them, confide in them, and comfort them, right? The kids is going cray cray in the back. And so I'm like, all right, well, if God does that for me, if the Lord does that for me, then should I be overwhelmed? Well, I could still be overwhelmed. Like I'm sure a sheep is like, oh, there's a wolf, and they get scared, even though the wolf is on the other side of the gate, right? So then I start thinking, like, all right, well, the second part of this is I shall not want. What does that mean? What does that look like? I shall not want. All right, well, what do I want? And so I start thinking about like, what would a sheep want? And I'm like, all right, they want warm, but they got mad fur. Okay, cool. They want protection. Got that. Got food. All right, it's on the ground. Like, there's nothing for a sheep to want if they're being shepherded properly. And so then that's when I had the aha moment. I start feeling convicted, like, oh snap, like there are probably things that I want that are outside of God's reign, outside of God's jurisdiction, outside of the shepherd's pen, that is causing me to feel this tension, this stress, this overwhelm, right? And so we know that feeling, right? We've been there. You get home after a long day at work and you just want to relax, but you have so much to do, similar to how I came home today. Like Nicole caught me trying to like throw in a pot like the last minute, pretending that I was cooking something. It just ain't done yet. Oh, the water's still boiling, baby. Uh, it seems like though there's never enough time in the day. It's like if only there was a way to make the time more efficient. Well, here's what I can tell you: it is possible, and can take control. You can take control of your life and stop feeling overwhelmed and overworked. And here are some tips for you to do so. The first one is to prioritize your tasks, right? Figure out what you need to do first. First things first, and then everything else goes to the side. Delegate when possible. So for me in the household, I've given my daughter, my 6-year-old, the task of cleaning the kitchen. Is it awesome? No, but it is a great big help because she does know how to put the dishes in the dishwasher and sweep and clean off the table and things of that nature, right? Getting rid of distractions. I no longer sleep in the room with my phone so that I can get more rest. So my phone is out in the living room charging, and I'm in my bedroom sleeping. And the last thing we can do is get enough sleep. I think that is for a lot of people that is an issue. Um, Nicole, what about you? How do you deal with work and getting things done?
Now, if you're like me, you get a lot of work done by putting on your big girl pants and just doing it. And a lot of times I get caught up in doing this, and it's things that I wasn't supposed to do today, right? Sometimes the pressure of a deadline is enough to make you want to bury your head in the sand and just pretend that no one needs anything from you. Even though I'm all about getting stuff done, there are some days when I just don't have it in me to deal with the world. So here's how I get through those days. I take a shower. Whether or not I need it, I take it. Okay, getting clean can be a great way to refresh yourself and getting ready for whatever may come next, even if it's just dinner or Netflix and chill. Plus, if someone is waiting for an important call or an email from you, um, you'll feel a lot better about yourself if they don't hear that groan inducing ugh in your voice when they call, right? Like, ugh, I feel so horrible. I don't want to take this call. Get some fresh air. If it's nice outside, even if it's just for a little bit, go outside, breathe some fresh air into your lungs. And number three, have some fun. Go and play with your children, go and play with your significant other. Watch hilarious videos on TikTok or YouTube or whatever it is. My children love slapstick videos. They can watch America's Funniest Home Videos all day long. Go and get some fun. If everyone else is busy working hard, then why shouldn't you take some time off, right? Why shouldn't you take time off too? Go with your friends, read a novel, read a comedy, watch comedy, talk to Jory, let her practice her comedic uh what are they called? Comedic
Comedic
lines,
chops.
comedic, huh?
Chops.
Comedic chops on you, you know. Do something that gives you peace and joy when you are stressed out. Because if you are constantly working on a stressed out attitude, it is not going to get better. Did you ever see that commercial where Diana Ross is like screaming at everybody and then they're like, "Hey, you need a Snickers?" And then she turns into a regular person and they're like, "Thank you." I think they had done it with Aretha Franklin at one point also. I do it to my husband all the time. We own 3 vending machines, and unfortunately, one of the vending machines has Snickers. And I say unfortunately because they're supposed to be healthy vending machines. And for one of the machines, the employees have said, we don't want healthy. Like, give us Snickers, give us Mountain Dew, give us all of the bad stuff. And so they have Snickers. And whenever my husband is home, and he's yelling at the kids and he's yelling at me and he's screaming and he's throwing papers. I'm like, you need a Snickers? Wait, I'll go get you one. They downstairs, right in the cabinet. I'll go get you a Snickers right now. Take time out for yourself, decompress. Taking a shower, getting some fresh air, and having some fun are just 3 things that I personally do for myself. But there are so many other things that you can do to just clear your mind and decompress. And you never know. Sometimes you come out better. You know, there are times where I have had to proofread a document, and after reading it for 12 times, 40 minutes each time. All of the words, like, they just look the same. 40 minutes is an exaggeration, maybe 10. But
I
after
was
a
like, how
while,
long is this document?
after a while, all of the words look the same. And there are a lot of errors that I never catch. Have you ever heard the phrase, I need a fresh pair of eyes, or you need a fresh pair of eyes? Sometimes you need to step back and then come and look at it again.
I think
Yes, Tori?
that is so I just want to I'm not gonna make a new list. I'm not gonna make a new list. I'm just gonna add number 4. Can I add number 4 to your list?
Yes.
Okay. Remember, number 4th way to get from being overwhelmed, right? I don't know, get underwhelmed. I don't know if that's the proper use of that phrase. I'll look it up. I'll wait for the comments.
That's okay.
Um,
Everybody knows what I'm talking about. They should by now.
like number 4 for me is just like grace. Like, remember, you're human and
Yes.
imperfect, which means that sometimes things just won't go as planned. But that
Correct.
does not make
Absolutely.
them any less wonderful or special or important, right?
Yes.
So the things that we need to do, the things that we put on our plates, they are important, even if they don't get done. I'm gonna say that again for my co-host. The things on your plate are important, even if they don't get done. It doesn't make them or you any less wonderful or less special. So hopefully that helps some of you, any one of you, all of you, right? We're gonna call it a night because we're both overwhelmed. Oh my god, I'm being overwhelmed. And I'm like, I still feel overwhelmed. Let me go actually put some of these things into practice. I'm gonna start off at the bottom and then work my way up. But yes, thank you all so much for joining us for this episode of 30 Minutes of Power.
Yes.
We do hope and pray that you are um putting into practice the things that help you take care of yourself. Self-care is super important, especially around this time. The holiday season can be rough for many people. I know, with COVID came the loss of family members, the loss of a lot of things. And
Around this time.
so,
Yeah.
yeah, around the holidays can be a very tough time. So definitely want to encourage you all to make sure that you are loving up on yourself, loving up on others. If you know of a friend or a loved one who, this is a tough time for them, like, don't wait for them to reach out to you. Reach out to them first, right?
Yes.
Wrap your arms around others and
Encourage others.
be
Share
an
this message
empowered
with
woman.
others.
Yeah, share this message with other people.
Share this
Yes.
message with others
We
because
don't we don't ask that enough. We should ask that
we
all the
don't.
time.
And you know what? Especially with a message like this, we are all, every single person in this world is overwhelmed at some point in time, at least once a week. At
That's
least,
true.
at
That's
least
true.
once a week, every single person is going crazy for at least 5 minutes. 5 minutes minimum. Everybody's losing it. So,
And this podcast was only 20 minutes, so they have enough time
yes.
to listen and be refreshed and encouraged and
Share,
inspired
share.
and motivated. Yes,
Yes,
please share this podcast with another woman who needs empowerment or a man who needs empowerment, anybody who
yep,
needs empowerment. But we do uh we love you guys. Like,
we do.
I
That's why
I
we're here.
I'm very encouraged by the community that has wrapped its arms around us and continue to pull up week in and week out. Um, I mean, look, Nicole, it's almost a year, boo boo.
It's almost a year.
Almost a year.
Wow.
Indeed.
Wow.
When we
Yes.
talked about this last December, it was like, yeah, I think maybe we could. I think maybe. What should we call it? I don't know. Remember that conversation? I don't know.
Yes.
And then I was like, oh, women's business and empowerment, babe, babe. And you were like, no, the Lord told me 30 minutes of power. And I was like, no. But I got all the signals. I got a pink. It's pink. It's pink.
That is funny.
I was like, it's pink. But yeah, man. Listen, there we
Yes.
go. Hey, find something to laugh at. There we go. You laugh at
Yes.
us. Laugh at us. You ain't got nothing else to do. Just laugh at us.
That's right.
But yeah,
Feel
we
free to share also. Share with us what you do to become to decompress, what you do to get to not be overwhelmed. The email is azironsharpensiron@gmail.com. We love to hear stories. So
put it in
feel
the
free
chat.
to shoot us an email.
Put it in the chat. Put it in the comments. If you listen to this on Apple Podcasts, there is a section for you to write words. Write them. If you're watching this on the replay on YouTube, our new YouTube channel, AZ Iron Sharpens Iron. Yes, please go over and subscribe. If you're listening to this podcast, then you might have found our YouTube channel. Before you leave, push the like, give us a thumbs up, subscriptions, please. We need those. Right now we have 3 followers, and I think they're Nicole, and me. So if we can get those numbers up, that'd be great. That'd be great.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we want to continue this Her Story Matters series. You have a couple of very interesting guests coming up. My guest for this evening, I guess she postponed, but I also gave her the wrong date because she's in a whole nother country and I got my times all messed up. So again, when you overwhelm, you be giving people the wrong information. So yeah, with that said, 30 minutes of power, Nicole Salsa, Jory O'Neill. Everyone, have an incredible evening, and we'll see you right back here next week, 7:30, for another 30 minutes of encouragement, inspiration, and empowerment. Peace, everybody.
Amen. Peace out.
Thank you for listening. We pray you have been empowered by the message. If you'd like to be a part of the conversation, join our free Facebook group, AZ Iron Sharpens Iron. Every Monday, 7:30 Eastern Standard Time, meet us back here for another session of empowerment. Share this episode with another woman who needs to be empowered. And don't forget to like and subscribe. Until next time, be an empowered woman using your power to empower others.
30 minutes of power.